In this film, we're going to learn how to play the scale of E flat major. So let's have a little think about the key signature of E flat major. It's got 3 flats, B flat, E flat, and A flat. So if you've just been working on B flat major, well, you've got the same 2 flats as you had in B flat major, and now we're adding that 3rd flat, A flat. And as always, when you start to work on a new scale, it's a good idea just to have some idea where maybe these black notes come. So in E flat major, those are the 3 black notes that we're going to need in that first octave. One thing to note, it's E flat major, so of course it's E flat at the bottom. The other thing to note is you've got these 2 black notes bang next door to each other, the B flat and the A flat. And they're positioned as the 2 black notes on the right hand side of the group of 3 black notes. So there's your group of 3 black notes, and you need these 2. So E flat, because it's E flat major, and these 2 on the right. So if you can get used to those 3 notes and then be able to transfer them up the octave, and of course remember that you're going to finish on E flat at the top. It's quite useful just to have this pattern in your mind and to be able to find it coming down as well. It just helps to locate where you are with notes. Okay, let's now think about what the right hand is going to do in terms of fingering. And if you've been learning B flat major, this has got certain similarities. But let's have a look at what's the same and what's different. Well, first thing to say is, when we're having to make decisions about which white notes to choose on these pairs of white notes here and there, again, it's another one that's on the right hand side. So it's E flat followed by F on the right hand side there, another white note, A flat and B flat, they're those 2 that we talked about coming together. And then you put your thumb on the right hand side of the next pair of white notes, and then we're all set for the next octave. So these 2 notes on the right hand side of the pairs are quite useful to know about. Once you've got your 3 flats and you've got these 2 white notes on the right hand side of those pairs, you've got nearly every single note that you need. There are only 2 more to find. And they will be white notes because we've eliminated all the black notes that we need. So let's just work through what's happening. We're starting on a black note, so we're not going to start on a thumb, we're going to start on a 2. Now this seems a bit familiar after B flat major where we do the same thing. So that's good. So we start on a 2, then we put a thumb in. Work up the fingers. Now can you see that I'm not going to use a thumb in here because I'm playing these 2 black notes. Yeah? So when we did B flat major, we went 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. But when we do E flat major, we do the 4s and the 3s the other way round. Okay, so in E flat major, I start with 2, then I've got a 1, and this 1 is the first note of a group of 4, because I can't put my thumb on that B flat, and then I'll have a group of 3. So it's worth kind of remembering what's going on. In B flat major, I've got 3 followed by 4. In E flat major, I've got 4 followed by 3. Okay, so here we go. 2 on E flat, thumb on the F, 2 on the G, 3 on the A flat, 4 on the B flat. Here comes the thumb on C. Work up the fingers, 2 on D, 3 on E flat. Here I am, pair of notes, pair of white notes, so I must be on the right hand side. Thumb on F, onto G, 3rd finger on A flat. This will have to be a 4th finger on B flat. Then I can put my thumb in, which means that I finish on this group of 3 at the top. I then come down the way I've been. I've had a group of 3, so I'm probably going to need a group of 4 now, aren't I? So there's the 4. Having done a group of 4, I now need a group of 3. Now a group of 4. And I'm going to finish on that 2 that I started with. Okay, so again, you might want to pause the film at this moment and just work on that notion of where the black notes are. Remind yourself where they are. Remind yourself that you're on the right hand side of these pairs of white notes, and then the rest of the notes just fall into place because there's just 2 remaining white notes. But get the notion that we're starting with a 2, then it's a group of 4, a group of 3, group of 4, group of 3, and that in reverse coming down. When you're happy about all of that, see if you can play the whole scale in the right hand with me now. Here goes. So there's the right hand in E flat major. Let's now have a think about the left hand. And again, the things we've said about the right hand will have to be true of the left hand, so just get a feel for, oh yes, those are the 3 black notes, just reminding yourself about those 3 black notes, and remember the E flat to finish, so we're just happy finding those notes. On the right hand side of these pairs of white notes again, so that's quite a useful reminder in the left hand. And now, just to think about the fingering. The left hand fingering in E flat major is the same as the left hand fingering in B flat major. In other words, we're starting with a group of 3, then we have a group of 4, a group of 3, a group of 4, tuck 2 over to finish, come down with a group of 4, a group of 3, a group of 4, and finally a group of 3. So it's worth remembering that the left hand fingering in E flat major is the same as the left hand fingering in B flat major. The right hand fingering is not the same, but the thing that's different is that the 4s and the 3s have reversed. Okay, so having got the left hand on the go, let's just work through that one more time. Here we go. 3rd finger on E flat. 4th finger. 3rd finger. 4th. 2 at the top. Turn round. Here's a group of 4. Thumb for a group of 3. Thumb for a group of 4. Thumb for a group of 3 to finish. Again, pause the film if you want to, rehearse that as many times as you want to, and when you're ready, come back and let's see if we can play that scale hands together. A bit like B flat major, it's not the most friendly scale to do hands together because it's difficult to get fingers to align, but nevertheless, it's sometimes a scale that people feel is a little bit more comfortable than B flat major. But the thing is, if the fingering doesn't work, drill it hands separately until you're so sure about that that it can't really go wrong. And then you'll be able to come back and have a go at it hands together again. And if it doesn't work because it's going too quickly, obviously the answer is slow it down and really think about every fingering decision. Let's try it hands together. Left hand starting on 3, right hand starting on 2. Here we go. Now you've got to put a 4 in the left now, haven't you? But of course the right hand is just walking up fingers, so the right hand's on a 3. You need a right hand thumb on C, left hand is still walking up the fingers. Now this is quite a useful moment, isn't it, where we have a double 3. So it's kind of worth remembering that on the E flat halfway up and halfway down you've got a double 3. Put a thumb in the right hand, let the left hand walk up. Now it's a 4 in the left hand, even though it's 3 in the right hand. Now it's a thumb in the right hand. And now we're going to use a thumb in the left hand, so we need to put a finger over. Okay, and let's turn round, going back the same way. 4 needs to go in the right. Now it's a thumb in the left. Here's our double 3 moment that we can enjoy. Then it's a thumb in the left, but 2 in the right. It's a 4 in the right. Left hand keeps walking onto a 3. Now it's a thumb in the left on that G. And there we are. That's E flat major for you. Okay, and again, obviously rehearse that as many times as you want to. And when you're feeling comfortable about it, come back to me again and let's just see if we can play that scale together. Here we go. And in a sense, you might have noticed at the end there, you really could play that last note on a 2 or a 3. It's not the end of the world, but it's probably best to be logical. I've sort of given you both options on this film, but 2 is a good starting finger, but if you start on 3, it really doesn't matter. And obviously when you come down, do you want to finish on 2 or do you finish on 3? It doesn't really matter too much, in the same way that it doesn't quite matter how the left hand finishes at the top. When you come up here, does it finish on a 2? Does it finish on a 3? Doesn't really matter. Do what's comfortable for you, but it's probably wise to have the same fingering system every time you play it.